Okay. Anybody else from the public? Okay. Roll call vote, please. I'm sorry. Board members, you're right. Yep, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Questions and comments from the board now. Trustee
Madam President.
Bolfus, yes, go ahead.
When I first read this in the little synopsis here, I had a number of questions I jotted down, but as I went through all the material that we were supplied with the scope of service, most of those were answered, but I do have a couple left. I did notice reading over the scope of service, there was nothing in there that said anything about addressing the status of the water lines that are on that street. You know, my thought is if we're opening up the street, how do we know, how's the water lines? How do we know if those, you know, are they sized right and what condition are they in? So that's one I think we ought to.
Sure. I can answer that question. That street was not identified in our master plan for water main replacement. However, if we encounter any lead or galvanized water services, we are obligated to replace them. Typically, on a project, we do add valves, we do add hydrants, and we do replace services as necessary, but the main was not part of the scope of the work.
And the other thing I did notice reading the initial report was it sort of mentioned that there might not be able to do a complete stormwater separation on that whole street. I'll be interested when the report actually comes.
That is correct. We're almost certain we will not be able to 100% separate it, but we will separate as much as we can. Same as we did on North Michigan. We weren't able to separate that 100% either.
The elevation?
Well, elevations, and there's a lot of underground utilities that will cause conflicts.
Yeah,
all the interceptors going to the wet weather treatment plant and to the Salt Creek Sanitary District, a lot of them run down Park Boulevard. So getting across them will be very difficult.
Yeah, I noticed that in the report. I had no idea there was that much going on underneath that street. So, okay, thank you. That's all I've got.
Okay. Any other questions and comments from the board? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Item number 5 on the COW. Consider a resolution approving the purchase of a heavy-duty truck lift for the Village Fleet Department at 100 West Home Avenue from PR Strike and Sons Incorporated. Director Discalis?
Staff has permanently taken the village's 44-year-old heavy-duty lift truck out of service for safety reasons. This was confirmed during a recent safety inspections by the IRMA, the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency. The large fleet lift was found to be unsafe. Without this lift, the village cannot complete routine or emergency repairs on village vehicles, including vehicles with snow plows. This lift allows our fleet maintenance mechanics to work on all village vehicles. Staff recommends replacement of this lift. After receiving quotes, staff recommends the lowest bidder, PR Strike of Franklin Park, Illinois, in the amount of $69,995 be awarded this work. Staff recommends adding $5,000 for removal of contaminated soil from the excavation that will be needed to install the new lift. This would be a project cost total of $74,995. This lift allows maintenance for many village vehicles. The replacement cost will be divided between multiple departments and provided to the board during budget amendment number 2.
Thank you. Any questions and comments from the public in regards to this item on the agenda? Okay, questions and comments from the board. Trustee Davis.
Madam President,
Yes.
This is long overdue. These guys have been working with this leaky lift for a long time, and I'm glad to see it finally made it up here. Leave it at that.
Thank you, Trustee Davis. Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a question, is this lift currently locked out? Is it locked out for safety?
We have Marlon Hummel, our superintendent. Many things coming forward.
Good to see everybody again. This lift is currently locked out. It will not even raise the front part of it. The back, we can use it to lift the front end of something, to take a tire off, and that's about it. This process has been a long process. We started this back in March, actually February. I've been at this a year and a half, and one of my first concerns when I first came on fleet maintenance was to evaluate everything our crews were using. every one of these lifts are 44 years old. With the manager and the director's support, we've already been able to, I'll tell you, we labeled our lifts 1 through 4. 1 being the one farthest south, and then working your way towards the gas pumps, if you've ever been in there. Our 2 car lifts, one had no safety devices left on it, so when it was up in the air, if the hydraulics were to go out, we had to get that fixed. So we already rebuilt and put the safety devices on 2 of them. The manager's office has approved replacement of one of our small car / light duty truck lifts. That's coming in 3 to 4 weeks. And now we're on this lift. And this lift is very important because in the snowplow season, if something breaks down and we can't get it out of the shop because we put mechanics on when the crews come in, we're gonna stop. Or have to hire contractually out, and that would be about 30 to 50% more. So we've been working on this a long time. We reviewed many lifts, and unfortunately the way our shop is set up, going back with the same kind is actually the cheapest way to go. We looked at the new lifts where you drive on, scissors, parallelograms. We looked at everything, including making a new bay for portable lifts. But with portable lifts in our size shop, you need almost 6 feet on either side of the vehicle. 3 feet just one thing's in, and another 3 feet for maneuverability to get them around. And if we were to take the back part of the shop, we actually researched that, we'd have to put another door in our shop, so we had a drive-through, because we bring 15 to 20 squads through every week, and salt crews come through after every shift, we wouldn't have a drive-through. So by moving this forward, even when this truck lift was working, if you were to put a heavy truck on there, you can literally move, it would go from side to side, and that was just the end of it. You got a truck 70,000 pounds in the air, you don't take that chance.
So I think my other question was an above-ground lift would not be feasible. There's no
No,
room for
nor is
that.
it that much cheaper. If you have a copy of my memo, I did look into the portable lifts.
Okay.
And by the time you buy all the accessories, the jacks that go under it, the things that hold the plow, and a whole bunch of other things, it was actually the same cost. So, I mean, they're nice, and a lot of your newer shops are doing them, but they also have a wider space to set these all up. I mean, St. Charles, the village of St. Charles is all portable lifts, and, you know, they love them, but we don't have the space in our shop to make that work.
And I have one more question, Madam President. And Marlon, forgive me if I missed this in your report, but I know that Rotary makes a smart lift, which is kind of self-contained, so that, you know, the corrosion doesn't cause leakage of the fluid. Do they
That's
not
what
make?
it's going in. It's all in a big,
It's all
self-contained now. They're
okay.
all, you know, plastic, you know, type stuff. Unlike our older system, it's all cinder block structure underneath.
Okay.
Yes. The small lift that's being replaced will have self-containment, and so will the new one, the new lift. Absolutely correct. So we don't have contamination of soil in the future.
Okay. That's all I have, Madam President.
Anybody else from the board? Any questions, comments? I just have one really quick question. Is this just for one lift?
This is one lift.
How many lifts do we have now?
You have 4.
Okay.
We have rebuilt lift 3 and 4, which is the 2 farthest on the north side. Again, there was no safety devices and a couple control valves, so those are good to go.
Okay, there.
And we put an order in roughly 2 weeks ago to replace the small car and light-duty truck lift, so that one will be coming. That one is shot on it, that one does this too, and it's,
Okay, so eventually we'll need to replace that one, or?
no, it is
or-
being replaced.
Okay.
The manager has signed off on that already.
Okay. So in other words, once we do this, our lifts will be in good shape.
They will be in good shape,
They're-
but still remember, the other 2 lifts where we spent about $2,800 and putting safety devices on are 44 years old. So we will look at those on a yearly basis when they inspect them, but I do expect 3 to 5 or more years out of those 2 older lifts still,
Okay. Of course, we'll continue to maintain them as we go along.
every year.
So no
They have
surprises.
gotten you a long way.
Yeah.
They have done a lot of work for the village, and they really don't owe us anything.
Okay.
They were very good lifts, and we're replacing them with about the same, so I expect the same long term.
Okay, we'll just continue to keep track of them.
Yep.
Okay, all right, anybody else? Are we good?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marlon, appreciate it. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Volpes.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 6 on the COW, consider a resolution authorizing the submittal of an application for funding of the North Avenue Townhomes Lift Station project under the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program, and authorizing a representative to sign an agreement if funding is granted. Director Descalis?
The village would like to replace the lift station which serves the North Avenue Townhomes, a townhome complex located on the south side North Avenue between Joyce Avenue and Kramer Avenue. The existing lift station is privately owned by the Townhome Association, and lack of funding and maintenance has left the townhome residents without sewer service many times, resulting in violation notices from the Illinois EPA. The estimated cost of construction of this project is $360,000. Under the terms of the grant application, village staff requests grant funding in the amount of $270,000 or 75% of the estimated cost of construction. The village would be required to cover the cost of the remaining 25% of construction as well as engineering costs. And we are going to be looking at various options of funding the 25%. And as a related issue, one of the requirements of the grant application is that we hold a public hearing. So I'd like to announce that the public hearing for this grant application will be held on Monday, September 30th, 2013, at 6 p.m. here in the Village Boardroom. That's Monday, September 30th, 2013, at 6 p.m.
Great, thank you. Questions and comments from the public in regards to this item? Okay. Approach the podium and state your name for the record and try to keep your,
Cheryl Tucker, 434 South Cornell.
thank you, try to keep your
Again,
comments to 3
I
minutes.
just have one question. Is, when we take the station, as a village, we will be taking it over away from the township? Because right now, it's owned by the township.
That is correct. If we receive the grant funding, then we would have to pass over title of the lift station to the village from the Townhome Association. And at the same time, we would intend to sign an agreement with them for future maintenance of that lift station. And I don't know if the village attorney wants to elaborate on that.
It's not the township owned, it is owned by the North Avenue Townhomes
I'm sorry, I meant the
Association.
Townhome.
No, you said it.
The
You said it
association
right.
itself.
Right, the association itself, and that's why Finance Director Heath said that the 25%, if the CDBG grant is in fact received by the village, we will have to work with the Townhome Association to work with their payment of the additional 25%. We don't know what it is, we want to wait and see if we get the grant first, and then we will sit down. The intent is to clear up a very serious situation in our village at no cost to the citizens that are involved.
Yeah, I just wondered if the town association, townhouse association would be involved with the payment also, or are we taking over the full?
No, what we're hoping is to get 75% with CDBG funds, and the
Okay.
other 25% we would expect them to be responsible for.
Thank you.
But we have to work it out.
Yes.
So there's no point till we get it. Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? All right, questions and comments from the board? Trustee Case.
We just put a new pump in there 2 years ago.
Sure did.
So, we sold a bag of goods there? Or?
I don't know who would like
Well,
to respond to that.
We put a pump in there, but the entire lift station itself is
That's
rotted
separate.
out, the wet wells.
Yep.
It was a temporary fix, knowing full well that we have to replace the entire lift station. There were no options at the time.
Yes, it's an ongoing issue. Anybody else from the board? Okay, Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Madam President. This is kind of a side question. A number of years ago, I came to Village Hall, and the members of the Townhome Association were here, and there was some efforts to try and revitalize their Townhome Association. Where is that at now? Are they functioning at all, or do they have meetings? Are they collecting dues at all, or is that Is there leadership in the town association?
Manager Keener is the one that would answer the question. I do believe that there have been discussions. I haven't been there present for them. So if you could give us a few days till Manager Keener gets back, we will get back to you on it.
There have been a number of meetings, though.
Correct.
A number of meetings about this, so it's been an
And according
ongoing
to the
issue.
state of Illinois, they are a viable organization, last time we checked.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Let's hope that's the case. Okay. Trustee Wagner, is
I'm
that
good.
good?
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else on the board? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Case,
Yes.
trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
President Bowman.
Yes. We will now convene to the formal agenda. Right. Item number 1 on formal agenda is the village president's report. We have a number of proclamations. I'll start with the Lions Club. Proclamation recognizing the 90th year of service to the community Villa Park Lions Club. Whereas the Lions Club was organized in 1917 by Melvin Jones and within 3 years had gone international, and whereas during the organization of the club, Helen Keller challenged the leaders of the Lions Club to commit their services to the hearing and sight impaired, and whereas the mission of the Lions Club is to empower volunteers to serve their communities, meet humanitarian needs, encourage peace, and promote international understanding through the Lions Clubs, and whereas Lions meet the needs of local communities and the world by performing community service in 207 countries and geographic locations, and whereas Lions Club International is the world's largest service club organization, and whereas the Villa Park Lions Club is celebrating its 90th year providing service to the community of Villa Park, and whereas the Villa Park Lions Club donated Lions Field to the village and people of Villa Park in 1961, and whereas the Villa Park Lions Club donates scholarship funds to Willowbrook High School students, and whereas the Lions Club of Villa Park sponsors the Leo Club at Willowbrook High School to assist them and guide them in community service work, and whereas the Lions Club of Villa Park meets the second Thursday of every month at noon and the last Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. Now, therefore, I, Deborah Bullwinkle, Village President of Villa Park, recognize the 90 years of service to the village of Villa Park provided by the Villa Park Lions Club, dated this day, 23rd day of September 2013. Yes, thank you. Great to see some members of our Lions Club here with us today, and you do such an incredible job for us. At so many events, it's just a small sampling of everything that you do for us, so thank you very much. Thank you. That's much an honor. Okay, the second item is a Community Foundation Week proclamation. Proclamation recognizing November 12th through the 18th, 2013 as Community Foundation Week. Whereas November 12th through the 18th, 2013 is nationally recognized as Community Foundation Week, when citizens across the country celebrate the impact that these crucial charitable organizations have on our communities. And whereas there are more than 700 community foundations in the United States and more than 30 in the state of Illinois, and whereas DuPage County is fortunate to have the DuPage Community Foundation, whose vision is to raise the quality of life throughout DuPage County, and whereas the DuPage County Foundation's mission is to foster philanthropy, connect donors to area needs, and build community partnerships, and whereas the DuPage County Foundation has been a valued partner in our community since 1986, helping people achieve their charitable goals and ensuring that funds are available to benefit causes and organizations addressing the needs of our community today and for generations to come. And whereas DuPage County thanks the DuPage Community Foundation for being an integral community partner and resource, and recognizes the great things that the foundation has done on behalf of our community since 1986. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah Bullwinkle, President of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Villa Park, urge all citizens to support the Foundation's mission, dated this day, 23rd day of September, 2013. And I just want to add a side note that we have a Villa Park Community Foundation, and they do so much for our community. They're out there on a regular basis, and we're very, very active with our skate park, in fact. So we are very lucky to have our own community foundation. So, okay. Third item, Fire Prevention Week proclamation. Proclamation designating October 6th through the 12th, 2013 as Fire Prevention Week in Villa Park. Whereas the Village of Villa Park is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our village. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,500 people in the United States in 2011, according to the latest research from the nonprofit National Fire Protection Association, the NFPA. And fire departments in the United States responded to more than 370,000 home fires. And whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, where fire departments responded to more than 156,000 annually between 2007 and 2011. And whereas 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen. And whereas unattended equipment was a factor in 1/3 of the reported cooking fires. And whereas 57% of reported non-fatal home cooking fire injuries occurred when the victims tried to fight the fire themselves. And whereas children under 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking than being burned in a cooking fire. And whereas Villa Park residents should stay in the kitchen when frying food on the stovetop, keep a 3-foot kid-free zone around cooking areas, and keep anything that can catch fire away from stovetops. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas the 2013 Fire Prevention Week theme, Prevent Kitchen Fires, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Therefore, I, Deborah Bullwinkle, President of the Village of Villa Park, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2013 as Fire Prevention Week throughout this village. And I urge all the people of Villa Park to check their kitchens for fire hazards and using cooking practices during Fire Prevention Week 2013 and throughout the year, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Villa Park Fire Department. Got through it. Dated this day, the 23rd day of September, 2013. Thank you. And I'll take this moment just to thank our fire department. You all are running around like crazy, and I know you have an open house coming up on October 12th, if I remember correctly. So, all right, if you'd like to step forward to the podium and give a really quick update on that, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Lieutenant Chris Gillen with the Villa Park Fire Department, obviously, and I'm also a resident. You guys did not know that. Saturday, October 12th, between noon and 3 p.m., we're having our annual open house. I'm here to cordially invite you and the public to attend. We've got many fun activities. We're going to have apparatus and equipment displays, NICOR, ComEd. We're going to have some live fire. We've built 2 rooms. Set them on fire. Everybody loves that for some reason.
Demonstration.
But
Cooking at the time?
Yeah, really.
That portion really opens a lot of people's eyes to see how fast the fire progresses and to feel the actual heat. I mean, you're 50 feet away and you can feel the heat coming off those 2 little rooms. And unfortunately, out of those 370,000 fires, 43% of them occurred in the kitchen.
43%?
Correct.
Wow.
So that is a large number. That's why this year's theme is to prevent kitchen fires, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's a good theme.
And also we're going to have refreshments, games. We're going to be able to get fire department tattoos for the kids. Love that, but obviously they're not real.
Sounds like fun.
Helmets, stick-on badges, balloons. We're going to have a bunch of raffle prizes that we give away. A lot of the stuff that we get is donated. We got Home Depot, Starbucks is giving us some stuff, Sonic, the Lighthouse, McDonald's. So a lot of the stuff that we have is all donated. I just wanted to give a big shout out to them. And I got some flyers here for you guys,
Okay.
and I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you. Repeat the date and the time one more time.
Saturday, October 12th, between noon and 3 p.m.
Okay. Yes, Trustee Taglia.
If I could, at this time, I'd like to present the fire department with a check. It's been in my bag for a little bit, and I think it's a good opportunity to give this to you guys. But this is a contribution from the Villa Park Masonic Lodge to the fire department.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very nice. Surprise! It's a nice, pleasant surprise. Wow. Thank you. Thank you to the Villa Park Masonic Lodge. That's wonderful. And thank you to the fire department. So I know the families and the kids always love this open house. So
Make sure everybody's there.
okay, yes. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Got one more proclamation to read. So
You didn't mention Sparky the fire dog.
poor Sparky. Yeah, Sparky will be there. Okay, sounds good. There you go, Trustee Aiello. Sparky will be there with you.
I'm sure that gives you at least 5 more people.
All right. Next up, Drive for Pledges Proclamation, our last proclamation of the night. Drive for Pledges Proclamation. Whereas the Village of Villa Park holds the health and safety of its teenagers and adults as a chief concern, and whereas through itcanwait.com, Facebook, Text to Pledge, Tweet to Pledge, and events, more than 1.8 million people have committed to never texting and driving. And whereas 98% of American commuters know sending a text or email while driving is not safe, and whereas nearly 50% of commuters text while behind the wheel, and whereas more than 40% of commuters who text while driving reported the activity as being a habit, and whereas a Virginia Tech study showed those who send text messages while driving are 23 times more likely to crash, and whereas a driver that sends a text message while driving not only jeopardizes his or her safety, but also the safety of passengers, pedestrians, and other drivers. Now, therefore, Deborah Bullwinkle, Village President of the Village of Villa Park and the Board of Trustees, do hereby proclaim September 19th, 2013 as Drive for Pledges Day, dated this day, 23rd of September, 2013. It's a nice reminder there. And then next up, presentation for John DeSalvo in recognition of his 25 years on the Cable Commission. We are postponing this event and we'll be holding it probably near the end of October. Unfortunately, John DeSalvo's sister passed away over the weekend. And so they are tending to their family obligations at this time. So just wanted to send condolences to the DeSalvo family during their tough time here. So they'll be joining us later on this year. Next up is an appointment, Dave Whitaker to the Police Pension Board. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment?
Madam President,
Trustee Taglia.
I'd like to move for the appointment.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any questions and comments from the board? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bullwinkle?
Yes. Okay, I just have one more item. I've asked our Chief of Police, Bob Pavlicek, to give us another quick update on our phone app program that they recently launched at our Metro train station. This is a pay phone app, and we had some questions and comments about and some feedback last week when the police department unveiled the program, and so I've asked the police chief to come forward, and we've got some updates and some refinements that you all have done too, so we can
We have.
talk
Thank
a little
you.
bit about that.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you for coming tonight.
A week ago Monday, the 16th, we started with Passport Parking, provide a electronic application for paying for parking. We kicked that off in the south parking lot of the Metro station. All the coin boxes are removed from the south lot. It's use the application. The application has multiple features. You can do it from your home computer. You can do it from a smartphone. You can text from any phone. You can phone a local 630 phone number from any phone and arrange for your parking, get it all taken care of that way. You know, it's said when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And I will confess to you that I'm not a very good parking lot manager. This was my first time. And I apologize to all the people that we inconvenienced, and we saw some angry emails, and we talked to a lot of people on the phone, and it took us a week to work through it, but tried to explain to everybody where we were going, what was going on. We've already unrolled some new options today. The application started last week, and the peak was on Wednesday. 114 people in the South Lot were using the new application. Today, we had 126 use it today. So, like to see that it's catching on. We've also expanded, the village issue parking permits to people to park in the lot, sell them at the front desk of the police department. People can pick them up 7 days a week when we're open. You can, if you're shopping at the Jewel on Saturday or Sunday, you can pick up your parking pass if you choose to use it. Parking passes were always restricted to the unnumbered spots in the north lot. Now, you can use them in the unnumbered spots of the north, or you can go park on the south side and park in any of the numbered spots, as long as you've got that pass. So we've opened up permit parking in the south lot along with our application. Also today, the Public Works Department added approximately 30 parking spaces in the north lot, in our, what we call the cash lot or the coin lot. There are now 100 parking spaces in the north lot, because what we didn't anticipate, again, I took for granted the territorial nature of commuters. I really, and I apologize to the folks. They park in the south lot because they love parking on the south lot. They live on the south side of town. They don't want to have to get stuck on the wrong side of a train. I didn't realize that. But that being said, we've added more coin slots in the north lot. The number is now 100. Up from 72, and those were installed today. So tomorrow morning, if any of the residents are coin customers, there are more coin spots in the north lot, so hopefully that will help with it. So again, 3 ways to pay. The passport application, there was a gentleman I ran into, I was in the parking lot today, gentleman parking, I asked him, how are you going to pay for this? He goes, I used to go to Elmhurst, this is closer, I love this app, thank you. All right, a happy customer. Where was he Friday morning when I was on the platform? Meeting with some of the residents who weren't so happy, but, you know, I heard their concerns, I heard their issues, apologized as best I could. It was my first stab at running a parking lot, and I'll do better the next time. So.
Well, we appreciate your swift response. I mean, we know that you were on the phone nonstop last week, fielding calls.
And just so everybody understands, we didn't do this because we had nothing else to do in the police department. This was a community request. Did some surveys. People genuinely said, hey, we'd love to. The majority of the surveys said, yes, we'd like to do this. We'll do better next time.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it go at that. But again, I'm sorry to all the people who are inconvenienced. I think by now, we've got a week under our belt that I'm hoping most everybody's got it figured out, and adding more coin slots should help.
They know where to find you
They know where to find you.
They know where to
Yes,
find
they
you.
do. And I've been right there for them.
Yes. So thank you. Yes, you went out there Friday morning and, faced the music, if you will,
Well,
and
you
answered
know,
questions. And
it's-
that was wonderful that you did
Yeah,
that. Got a lot of great feedback on that.
Look at all the things we do in life. We're getting away from a cash society. We really are. It's electronic. Some people like it, you get to use that, but that's where we're going. So, if I could also, too,
Yes,
thanks to the
please.
Masons for the donation they made to the police department. I know we got our check last week. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam President, I have a question for the chief.
Yes.
More than yours.
No. Hey now. Yes. Trustee Wagner has a question for you.
Okay, I did get an earful from a resident about the situation, and I just want to clarify. If people don't want to use the app and they just want to do the conventional park and put their money in a coin box or they can only do that on the north lot.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we have signs there that make it clear for people? Because I know some people were ticketed, from what I understand.
To date, we wrote warning tickets last week in the south lot just for everybody to get their attention.
But
we didn't write warnings in the south lot today.
Okay, but I just want to make sure there's clear signage there that people know that it's not, they cannot.
Had that discussion with one gentleman who swore up and down there were no signs, and on Thursday he saw them. They'd been there all week.
Okay.
But then they were marked too high. Yeah, that's right. They were too high.
Oh.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, the signs are out. We only focused on the south lot, and we neglected to figure out that if we, it's like a traffic engineering, and I'll get out of the way here in a second. Traffic engineering, if you move cars off one street, they've got to go someplace else. we moved a lot of people out of the south parking lot. They had to go to the north lot. There were only so many coin slots. They took them up in a hurry, and that gives you a little problem. But I think the first week we worked through it, I got 126 people signed up today that used it. And I'm told from my parking enforcement folks, Mondays and Fridays are usually the lesser days in the lots. Usually volume seems to be, so we'll see what happens Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, how the volume goes. But, I signed up, I've got an app on my phone. I want to, I'm not going to ask people to do things I haven't tried myself. I got it on there. It's really pretty simple to use, and I'm all thumbs with the smartphone. Smartphone, not smart user.
Does anybody else on the board have any questions for the chief? Okay. Trustee
Let's go over it
Bumpus,
again.
Bumpus, please.
Who can park on the south side? Either you use the app,
Use the app, which involves, of course, app on the phone, call the phone number's on all the signs, or text to the phone number. It'll take a text message or a phone call.
see, I'm asking this because I only use the south side.
Okay.
Or I could go to the police department and get a daily pass.
Get your daily pass, buy a quarterly pass, park there all
Does
quarterly.
quarterly pass sticker on the window works in the south
Any,
side?
any permit that we issue that goes in the window that was normally restricted to only non-numbered spots in the north is now good on the south lot.
So you have 3 ways of paying now in the south lot. Daily pass, quarterly pass, or with the app.
With the app. I consider passes, whether they're daily or quarterly, the same, but if you call it.
I call them different.
Then they're different.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Anybody else?
thank you.
Again, thank you for responding so quickly to those concerns. It's really appreciated, so. Okay. With that, we will move on to item number 2 on the formal, public comments on agenda items. This is regarding agenda items 3 through 6 on the formal agenda. So if anybody has anything on your mind about the items 3 through 6 on agenda items, now's the time. Approach the podium. Okay. Don't see anybody? Okay. Okay. Item number 3, the consent agenda. A through E, I'm going to read them really quick. Minutes from Village Board meeting for September 9th, 2013. Minutes from Village COW for September 9th, 2013. Letter C, second reading of an ordinance approving a contract for garbage, brush, landscape waste, and recyclable material collection service by and between the Village of Villa Park and Roy Strom Refuse Removal Service, Incorporated. Item D, resolution authorizing an agreement for mandatory and wellness physicals with Elmhurst Memorial Hospital of Elmhurst, Illinois. And letter E, resolution approving a covenant regarding non-standard pavement in village right-of-way and/or easement with property owner at 1030 North Princeton Avenue to allow construction of a brick paver driveway apron within public right-of-way. Before I ask for a motion, items A and B need to be postponed until October 14th. So when we have a motion on the floor for this particular item, the consent agenda, we'll need to consider that. So with that, do we have a motion?
Madam President,
Yes,
I'd like to move for the,
trustee Taglia.
I would like to move for the consent agenda, removing items A and B.
Okay. Do we have a second on that motion?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any questions and comments from the board?
Consent agenda?
Nope.
No questions or comments.
Okay, then we're going to
This is
go
great.
for a roll call vote then.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello.
That's great.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 4, second reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the fire prevention code, deleting the requirements for automatic sprinkler systems in single-family residences. The village has decided not to require the installation of automatic sprinkler systems in single-family homes. Pursuant to Section 55 of the Illinois Building Commission Act, the village has given notice of the intended adoption of these codes to the Division of Building Codes and Regulations, the Capital Development Board, more than 30 days before the adoption of this ordinance. Staff recommends that the President and Board of Trustees adopt this ordinance. Do I have a motion on item number 4?
Madam President,
Trustee Case.
motion.
Do I have a second?
Madam President,
Trustee Aiello.
second.
Okay. Any questions and comments from the board on this item? This is our second reading. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ayello.
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus.
Yes.
Trustee Taglia.
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
President Bullwinkle.
Yes. Item number 5, First and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park approving a conditional use for automobile sales at 225 West Roosevelt Road. The Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval of the conditional use for Lucky Motors at 225 West Roosevelt Road to allow the sales of vehicles at this location with the conditions as listed in the ordinance. Do I have a motion on item number 5?
Madam President.
Trustee Davis.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Madam President.
Trustee Ayala.
Second.
Okay. Questions and comments from the board? Trustee Case.
Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Why is there, I have no problem with passing it, but why is there a first and final on this one?
I have no idea why.
Why wouldn't we have a second? I may have no problem with first and
My-
final on every one of them.
It's okay. It's my understanding that it's a timing thing, but we have, I'll give Patrick Grill a chance to explain this.
Yes.
Our Director of Community
Lucky
Development.
Motors has purchased the property already.
Right.
And they have done some modifications. They cleaned the property up in anticipation of this use and would like to sell vehicles as soon as possible at this location. However, until we approve the conditional use, they won't be able to do that.
Well, it's not a problem. I just don't understand why we can't do this with every one of them, like the refuse. First and final. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Well,
President,
we need to process.
Madam President?
Yes, please.
One of the reasons that we don't do this with everyone, and this one here, this was already in the past an auto dealership, so there's really wasn't any changes happening there. So that's why planning and zoning and staff was comfortable with making this a first and final. Whereas other ordinances, they are something different has happened, they're not normal and usual. So, and we give everybody an opportunity to
Let me rephrase that. How about the no-brainers?
Nope.
well, the problem with that is, what's a no-brainer?
The refuge, the sprinkler, that's a no-brainer
Well,
to me.
okay, I won't go, we won't.
Well, Madam President,
Yes.
what we're going to try to do, even with first reading, is utilize the consent agenda so that this board be given ample opportunity to discuss the things you really want to discuss. So if we start using the consent agenda where the no-brainers, as you call them, the ones that are obvious, maybe that will get you where you want to go and still leave more time for discussion of the board.
We started that a little bit tonight.
Right.
We had a number of things under our consent agenda, things that had already been through the process. And, it's still transparent, it's still out there, you can still ask questions and comments, but it just helps us streamline the process up here, because we have a lot going on, and just gives us a little more time, so. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Bowles?
Yes. Item number 6, resolution authorizing the submittal of an application for funding of the North Avenue Townhomes Lift Station project under the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, program, and authorizing a representative to sign an agreement if funding is granted. The village would like to replace the lift station, which serves the North Avenue Townhomes, a townhome complex located on the south side of North Avenue between Joyce Avenue and Kramer Avenue. The estimated total cost of construction for the project is $360,000. Under the terms of the grant application, village staff is applying for grant funding in the amount of $270,000, or 75% of the estimated cost of construction. The village would be required to cover the cost of the remaining 25% of construction as well as engineering costs. Do I have a motion on item number 6?
Madam President,
Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Madam President?
Trustee Bolfus?
Second.
Okay. Any questions and comments from the board on this item? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Bolfus?
Yes.
President Bowles?
Okay, yes. Okay, now, what we are going to do, we're going to back up the truck here, and we are going to go back to the consent agenda, letters A and B. We're going to table the minutes from Village Board meeting for September 9th, 2013, and the minutes from the Village COW for September 9th, 2013. So do I have a motion to table?
Madam President?
Yes.
I make a
Trustee
motion
Bolfus.
to table items A and B on the consent agenda.
Okay. We have a second?
Madam President.
Trustee Davis.
Second.
Okay. Questions and comments? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello? Trustee Bullfist?
Yes.
Trustee Taglia?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bowie?
Yes. Okay. Now, we will move back to item number 7, Village Clerk's Report. You have anything for us tonight?
Yes, I have a report.
What's on your mind?
I am announcing the Kiwanis Night Golf event, Golf Under the Stars. I've got some flyers in the back, very attractive flyers. And this is at Sugar Creek Golf Course, October 11th. It is a golfing and dinner for, both. If dinner only, that's also possible. You don't have to be a golfer. But we have this out there. It's on the Kiwanis website, Kiwanis Club of Villa Park. So you can pay through PayPal and all whatever way, or just call in or pay on the time to come in and register at the event. But anyway, it's a really fun event, so I'm just making sure everybody knows about it.
What time does it start?
It starts, actually, golf is at 7:15 when it's already twilight and getting darker, so everybody can see all the glow balls and all the glow things. And dinner's at 6:15.
Okay, great. It's a fun event, so.
Thank you, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
So I can see the ball in Elvis.
10 minutes. You can
I'm not yelling for her.
Whoa, good thing we've got some separation here. All right. Okay, item number 8. Item number 8, public comments on non-agenda items. This is the opportunity to come forward if there's anything on your mind in regards to non-agenda items. If you'd like, come forward now and share what's on your mind, and limit to 3 minutes. Anybody? Okay. Okay. Want to state your name for the record and...
Janet Mayer, 112 East Oak. I came a couple weeks ago and talked to the board about my dissatisfaction of the police department in Villa Park. I have one exception, Kevin O'Connor, no complaint there. But, our family, we made a complaint. I was unhappy that it was investigated internally, and I called Rich Keener a week ago Friday, and we haven't received any information if this officer has been reprimanded for an injury to a family member of mine. No one has contacted us. I guess they've been too busy with the app over at the train station. But I'm coming forward to let you guys know that the police are not doing their job. So.
Thank you, Janet. Well, I'll get with the manager and seek an update for you, okay? Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else from the public? Anything on your mind? Okay. Moving on to item number 9, Village Manager's Report. Do we have a report in
Thank you,
replacement
Madam
of the manager
President.
for tonight, I guess?
I have no report tonight.
Okay. All righty then. Item number 10, Village Attorney.
No report.
No report. Okay. Item number 11, Village Trustees Report. We're going to start to my right here. Trustee Bullfist, you have anything on your mind?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, what's going on?
First off, I'd like to thank specifically the Lions Club for all they do. You know, you read off that whole list of things they do, and sometimes we don't realize everything that the clubs do, you know, I really appreciate everything that they do, not just in Villa Park, but really around the world, so. I would like to ask one question. Back on the consent agenda, item E, where we talked about the non-standard pavement and the easements. We've had a number of these come before the board in the last year, probably a year, 2 years even. Is there some way or something we can do where we're approving them all, that they don't come to us at this level? Can we set it up that staff now sees that the board is agreeing with this non-standard pavement, brick paving in the easements, aprons of their driveways? that they can just handle that rather than have it come to this and get it dragged out over a month to 2 months before people can go ahead with the project. So.
Attorney Orr, if you'd like to.
Yes, I'm
Good
not
question.
sure, Patrick, what part of our code is that? That is in our building code or is in our zoning code with regard to the,
No, actually, what we're referring to is the public right-of-way, and therefore is not in the zoning code or the building code, actually.
oh,
It's
I'm
more
sorry,
in
because it goes into the.
Public right-of-way.
public right-of-way. Correct.
Okay.
We can, with your permission, adopt an ordinance, if you would submit to the village board some standards that would allow the village manager to approve when it fits in with the formatting and general parameters of what you have approved today. I mean, you can always delegate that kind of authority. So we could look at that if that's the general consensus.
Do you want to bother the village manager with it though? Or just like-
I'd rather bother him than bother us.
We have brutally honest trustees up here.
We can do that too. You can delegate it to the, we can delegate it jointly, so one's there, the other one can do it. We can do it in any way that you would like. So give us a chance to work on it. That's a good suggestion.
It is.
We are streamlining our agenda to give us time to discuss the important stuff.
How does everybody else, feel on that? The board, do we have a yay or nay? Possibly. So, we all good? Guys?
Yes.
We good? Okay.
Let's see it.
All right. Patrick, how's that sound? Excellent. Okay. Fabulous.
What else is out there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it.
You good?
Oh, one more
One
thing.
more?
One more thing. I think we made a little mistake. I think our ordinances require that at the beginning of our meeting, we approve the agenda. And that was not listed on our
Correct.
agendas tonight.
We normally
So.
do, and we give it the opportunity to take things off.
Right.
Which we definitely want to go back to. I wasn't going to say anything because it was done in the manager's office, and there's no point in talking
And I
about
was
it.
actually going to ask about that. I'm
But-
glad you did.
Right. The
Yes.
other thing is when the
Maybe
Madam
it's-
President calls for an approval of the agenda, that would be the time for any one of you to request something be taken off the consent agenda.
Okay.
So we're going to put more and more stuff on the consent agenda, and that you determine whether you or not it needs more discussion.
I'm glad you asked about that, because I thought that might have something to do with the consent agenda, why it was removed, so, okay. That sounds good.
Okay, now I'm done.
Are you done? You sure?
Yeah.
One more? Okay. Trustee Taglia.
Yes, I just want to comment on what our clerk Koronecki mentioned. The Kiwanis Night Golf is a blast. We played last year. First and only time I've played Sugar Creek and never lost a ball. So I'd encourage everyone to come out and play. It's a wonderful time. So if you can't see the ground, you can't be afraid of it. So my game definitely improved. That's all.
Thank you, Trustee Taglia. Trustee Cates, you have anything for us?
Yes, Chief, just keep up the good work. That's all I got to say.
Both chiefs?
All chiefs,
All right.
all staff, everybody in the village.
Village Attorney too?
You know better.
All right. Trustee Trustee Davis?
Just one question. Chief Kosniak, is that sign up and running?
Sign is up and running.
Beautiful.
Get a permit?
And you're, Trustee Davis, you're referring to the electronic sign outside of
the
Station
firehouse.
3, on Ardmore.
I didn't know if it was lit up. I saw him put it all together. I just didn't know if it was lit up.
Looks good.
And that, correct me if I'm wrong, that was all by donation?
Oh, Chief, would you like to come to the podium?
Tell us about that.
Yeah, come on to the podium.
It's been a short meeting.
Yeah. Give us a little more info on this.
I'll try to keep like Bob Campbell. The sign was, it's Fire Station 3, was, the bricks were donated by the Islamic Foundation. The bricklayer was paid. The landscaping was all donated by a company out of Lombard.
Looks great.
Public Works did a lot of work with us, getting the groundwork done. So about 80% was by donations. Adopt a Hydrant was a big part of it too. A lot of money was donated there. So So keep painting your hydrants and donating money. We're still short about $4,000. Maybe $2,000, right?
On the total price of, cost of this job?
The total price was $18,000.
$18,000.
So $16,000 was donated.
Okay,
roughly.
oh, wow, okay.
But we got it working today about 5 o'clock, 5:30.
Did you get to flip the switch? Did you get to flip the switch?
No, Mary did.
Oh.
Well, it does, it looks terrific. The landscaping looks great. We moved the flagpole off the building, which was a big deal to me. But it looks wonderful, it's great. So thanks to Village, and thank the Adopt a Hydrant people. If you drive by tonight, it says thank you, Adopt a Hydrant adoptees. So, thank you.
Who's the
It's also got the
Who's the landscaper that donated? I mean,
Balance
it's from Lombard,
Environment.
but he's donated to Villa Parks. What's the-
Balance Environment out of Lombard. Yeah. And it's also got time and temperature on it, so in case you're driving by, after curfew, you can see the sign and get home. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Davis, anything else?
Now, if we could just put the speed sign up there too, that'd be great. That's it, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Wagner, you have anything for us?
Yes, Madam President, I do. Just a couple things. First of all, I want to congratulate the Willowbrook varsity football team for beating York High School. I think it's always a good weekend when Willowbrook beats York High School. I want to salute the members of the Prairie Food Co-op for their Harvest Festival, which was this Saturday. It was absolutely fabulous. Just a wonderful family event. They had folk music, they had square dancing, they had wonderful food, and I think people may have heard the story about us exporting chicken to China for it to be processed to come back to the United States, and this just brings home the fact that we really need a food co-op, because they were very careful to show where all the food came from, all local producers. It was an absolutely wonderful event. They ran out of tickets. I think they anticipated maybe 200 people. They had 800 people there. So it was just a fabulous event, really, really great. I attended the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference meeting with the village manager, and there was an interesting presentation from the County Health Department about mosquito abatement. Specifically, it was more centered on ways to consolidate that part of local government. Great potential for us to save money, to consolidate that, for maybe that to be taken under the auspices of maybe one organization, township, possibly county. More to be heard about that in the future. And lastly, I just want to, this is kind of a somber note, Madam President, but I wanted to bring this tonight because I read this article, I'm sure many people did, in the Sunday Tribune. The title of the article is Heroin's Human Toll. This is a heartbreaking article. It talks about the heroin epidemic and the number of deaths in DuPage County. I was at the District 2 meeting in Oak Brook, and Sean Noonan, who's a police officer in Glendale Heights, great guy, he was talking about this as well. I just think people absolutely need to be aware of this and be just keep your eyes open. Maybe the police chief could talk about this, but it was just, this has touched our community as well. It's just you read this article, it's heartbreaking, really, what's happening.
Yes, Villa Park family is mentioned in this article, and you're right, it is very, very heartbreaking.
A couple things on that exact topic. A lot of publicity 3 weeks ago. We're members of the County Narcotics Task Force, DUMEG. DUMEG closed up a major racketeering and heroin distribution case that was bringing drugs into the county. Now, that's just one case. It was huge, though. That case was whole-consuming, involving informants and wiretaps and a whole lot of work. Secondly, initiative coming out through the DuPage County Chiefs of Police Association. I saw the link, I think, on the City of Wheaton website. They produced a video with Chief Kent Williams from Bartlett doing an interview. Kent Williams, if he's not a licensed psychologist yet, he's probably pretty close to getting his doctorate, but this is one of his passions. And countywide, from the state's attorney to the Chiefs of Police Association and from the Health Department, there's a multi-pronged initiative coming forward. We've already had meetings with the school districts. I know that Scott Helton from District 88's been involved. He's on board because I know he talked to the chief in Addison. And it's a multifaceted approach, starting with education of our young people. Ironically, as things happen to all of us and we get treatment for medical services, this is how innocently a lot of this starts. In fact, I remember there was a Tribune article. Where was that girl from in the Tribune article? Was it focused on one family?
No, there were
I
several
read an article the
families.
other day, a student athlete, and she tore something and they put her on opiate-based painkillers. And that is the start of a problem. If your family members or your children have some surgical need or some pain need, be careful what the doctor is prescribing, because heroin mimics the opiate-based addiction problems, and in very many cases, a lot of this came out of this presentation that Chief Williams did. Again, it's on the Wheaton website, and I wish I could remember the name of it. I just saw it the other day. It was on the City of Wheaton website. But he interviews this young man who's a recovered heroin addict. He talks about how he got involved in the things that happened, from going to be a star athlete and all of a sudden a bunch of injuries and the pain medicine went with him that then led him to heroin abuse. So this has had the eye of the law enforcement community for the better part of a year. In both, I know that anytime we get any kind of heroin-related death or overdose in the community, the state's attorney has to be notified. It's a new protocol. There's also a protocol coming to issue, what's that inhalant drug called? Narcan, which is a counteractive measure to drug overdose. There's the program coming out of the DuPage County Chiefs in this county is to issue that to first responding officers, because sometimes we're only there just a few minutes ahead of the ambulance, but if you could administer this drug as an inhalant, you got a chance to save somebody's life. So that's on the treatment end here. The forefront end is coming out of the education that we're working in, especially in the high schools.
Thank you. That's all I had, Madam
Yeah,
President.
thanks for bringing that forward, Trustee Wagner. I saw the article too, and it is very heartbreaking. There was a Villa Park family profiled in this article along with several others, so it's very sad. Trustee Ayala?
Just two things. One, I'd like to congratulate the village attorney for being such a good attorney.
From one attorney to another. Hey.
That is an all-time first. I can't tell you
That's
how much I appreciate
pretty impressive.
I figured it would be, so I figured I had to do it.
Yeah,
I was begging for it a little while ago.
40 years, that's never happened before. Tell them.
And then I didn't know, I wasn't here at the last meeting, so Brian Johnson on the Wilbur football team 2 Fridays ago threw for, depending on which article you read, between 660 and 700 yards in one game, and set the state record for that. So kudos to Brian Johnson, and if anybody has the connection to any scouts, any schools, some D1 or D2 or D3 scholarships, that's a kid who definitely needs to look in both baseball and football. He's also a pretty good baseball player. That's all I have, thanks.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Item number 12, information only, bill listing dated September 23rd, 2013, in the amount of $696,231.25. Do we have any questions on the bill listing? Did y'all see anything? Okay. Item number 13, adjournment. Like a motion to adjourn.
Madam President,
All right, Trustee Taglia.
move to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Madam
We're
President,
having so much fun up here. Let's see, Trustee Wagner, was it?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Second motion to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. It is 8:47 PM. We'll see everybody back here at our next regular board meeting, Monday, October 14th, 2013, 7:30. Thank you.
German? Yeah.